You're listening to the Packernet Podcast Network.
You ever hear of test driving a phone network? Well, US Cellular is letting you test drive their nationwide 5G for free. Try out US Cellular wherever you have spotty service. Your commute to work, that one spot in your house where your service dips. It's as easy as doing a little beep boop pop boop pop with your phone. That's the buttons. That's the noise they make. Anyways, test drive US Cellular's nationwide 5G coverage for free for 30 days. Just download the Try Us app. US Cellular, built for us. Terms apply. Visit uscellular.com/try us. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the Packernet Podcast. I am your host and resident fanalist, as always, Ryan Schlip. Check us out online, packernet.com. Find me on Twitter, pack_daddy. Well, boys and girls, had to call an audible here. This was not the intention of today, obviously, although we are kind of getting into that territory of, I even said, as far as Jordan Love, could be Sunday, Monday, whatever. Might not be either. There's conflicting reports on that as well, but kind of getting to that point, where actual things happen, where you got to be flexible. You can't just be like, what's some random crap I can throw together with charts and graphs and just talk about it, because whatever. Got to be ready to actually report on the news. And the news of the day, folks, is that Kenny Clark has gotten the elusive third-year contract awarded to only the greatest and the brightest and the sometimes flailing but usually pretty talented football players among the Green Bay Packers. He got his third contract. It's a 3-year, $64 million extension, $29 million in 2024 alone. That's wild, man. That's so much money. That's so much money. Crazy. But like most things, the Packers front load all the cash, so we'll have to see exactly how this contract is laid out. I don't have any more details than that. But, after 2024, at least $29 million of that 64 is going to be off the books. And remember, this is an extension. So he's not even getting into year one of the extension before $29 million is gone. $29 million is gone in 2024. The extension starts in 2025. So, if we assume 2025 is whatever, and then the total guarantees are not going to be 64. If it's maybe 50, if he gets $20 million next year, all the money's gone in terms of guarantees. So this could be as little as a 1-year extension with like 2 years of options, which wouldn't really shock me. We'll have to wait and see how this is all laid out, but that would feel like a very Packers thing to do. So we'll have to see. You talk about a 3-year extension, which is a 4-year deal, and it's like, holy crap, that's a lot. And then you look at it and go, oh, it's a 1 year with a bunch of prove-its. Got it. As far as my thoughts, number one, and Aaron Nagler brought this up first, but we had talked about it on this podcast. Brian Gutekunst had made the comment. It's getting a little bit late here, so I don't really want to have to parse through all the different interviews and whatnot. I'll see if I can maybe find that for tomorrow. But I know that I had mentioned on the podcast before that Brian Gutekunst was kind of iffy on Kenny Clark, and this may have just been gamesmanship to try to push the thing along with Jordan Love. I don't know. But he was very, he talked about Jordan like, oh yeah, we got to get it done before this, that, or the other. Then it was sort of, what about Kenny? And it's like, yeah, he's played some good football for us. We got to see. And specifically, he said, we need to see the structure of the Jordan Love contract. In other words, we can't really move forward with Kenny until we know where the Jordan Love thing is going. Now, number one, it's possible that they just did it anyways, right? They figure, whatever, we'll just do it. And we'll let the chips fall where they may. Maybe Kenny took a deal that was low enough or, flexible enough to where they said this kind of falls within all parameters no matter what. There's not going to be a Jordan Love thing where this doesn't work. That's option one. Option two is that they're close enough in the negotiation with Jordan Love where they've narrowed it down to we're just squabbling over pennies. And so we at least know enough that we can go ahead and just pull the trigger on Kenny. Option three is what everybody is hoping for. Fingers crossed, the contract is done. They have it all laid out. They're waiting for Monday to announce. You say, well, why would they not announce it? Why not just announce it when you announce Kenny or do it before Kenny or whatever? Like, I don't understand. I don't really either. I feel like this is probably the way I would want to do it too, though, because Jordan's going to be the big deal. I don't know if I want to slam that on a Sunday whenever. I mean, we were out on a boat when I found out Biden dropped out of the race. I mean, I come back from boat. It's like Biden dropped out. Kenny Clark got paid. Like, dude, I'm never going out again. Like, I have to just stare at my freaking computer, my phone, whatever, 24/7. Because if I leave, everything blows up, and I'm not here to see it as it happens. That's the whole Twitter addiction. Like, I want to know instantly. It's not good enough to know 5 minutes after it happened. That's stupid. If a war breaks out, I want to be here to see it. Like, oh, I got it. I got it before everybody. See that, guys? I saw the news immediately. Twitter's crazy, dude. I don't know how, going off on a tangent here, I don't know how, like, news organizations still function. You know what I mean? Like, why would I go over there to read what happened? I just found out what happened. Maybe to get, like, more details, because they actually try to go out and get all the details, so it can be somewhat beneficial if you don't know the details, but usually it's like, I mean, I know everything about it. I don't need to go to packernet.com and find an article about Kenny Clark, and I mean, I could to see if there's anything else floating out there, but this is the deal. 3 years, $64 million, with $29 million in 2024, and a deal done by D. Hendrickson 41 and C.J. LeBoy of Wasserman. That's the whole thing. And I saw it 20 minutes after it happened, and I was pissed. Dang it. I missed it. I come back and I want to celebrate, and everybody's like, bro, that's old. Like, we know that already. You're stupid. Wow, bro, were you like in a coma for 10 years? Like, give me a break. I threw together real quick. Like, I real quick came up with a song and stitched together a couple highlights, threw it up. Nobody. It's old news, dude. We're moving on. Moving on with our lives. Anyways, beside that, in terms of my thoughts, I mean, there's been a lot of concern in terms of, like, do you really want to pay the guy a ton of money, et cetera, et cetera. I think, number one, before we comment on the actual strength or girth of, that seems like a weird word to use, the magnitude of the contract, before we go down that road, because we don't know in terms of guarantees and whatnot, or I don't know, you might know. I think the one thing that I like about it is that it just provides stability, you know? I mean, we're looking at a team that it's like, man, we're headed in a good place. And I just would feel uncomfortable if Kenny left. Now, listen, Kenny's not the guy I was hoping he was going to be back in 2018 or whatever year he was breaking out. He was looking like he was a top 3 defensive tackle. And maybe he can get back there with the new defensive scheme. I don't know. But I kind of feel like he's gotten a little bit, and this comes from me too, a little bit of the A.J. Hawk syndrome, where it's like, the dude is good. Not great. He was great. He's not great. You see moments of greatness, but throughout the course of the season, how often is he a top-tier guy? Not super often. But because he was a first-round pick, and because there's such high expectations, especially since the bar that he set for himself, and we kind of just every year kept waiting, like, is he gonna do it again? Like, oh no, he didn't do it again. It's like, oh, that sucks. Well, we got a new defensive coordinator, so maybe no. Okay, well, he was injured, so maybe when he gets healthy, he'll be like that again, or no, or what? So I mean, you know, he's not Aaron Donald. He's not one of the top guys. He's not Dexter Lawrence or whatever. But the dude is a solid pass rusher. He you know, if you check the numbers, if you check the pressure rates, his PFF grades as far as pass rush, he maintains it pretty well. I think the run defense has continually fallen off. And again, maybe that's schematic. Maybe it was Pettine's fault and Joe Barry's fault in the way that they had these guys do things, and obviously we're doing something very different. Might be better, might be worse, I don't know. But again, I like the stability of it. I like having a veteran leader on that defensive line. We've really revamped the defensive line when you look at the coaching staff and whatnot. We're doing new things. It's just cool to have a guy like that. I like Wyatt. I think he has a lot of upside as a pass rusher. Maybe he'll never get there as a run defender. I don't know. Brooks and Wooden, giant question marks for me. I know some people are all the way in on at least 50% of that. Those two will always be a duo. I don't know if it's just me, but it's just, there is no Brooks and Wooden. It's Brooks and Wooden, you know? I don't know. Maybe one of them will separate themselves and the other one will be off the team. I feel like you can't even do that, can you? It's like separating conjoined twins. Like you can't. They're either both on the team or they're both gone. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't think that's ever happened before. I don't know why they're so intertwined. I think it's because I can't pick them apart. I don't know why though. Like I didn't have that problem with Jamon Moore, Equanimeous St. Brown, and Marquez Valdez-Scantling. I didn't have that problem when we drafted 3 running backs. I didn't have that problem with Musgrave and Kraft. I don't know why Brooks and Wooden are the same guy. I have no idea. But, I mean, I guess just think about it in terms of the Packers are going to be dominant. Like elite offense and elite defense. I just have a hard time getting there without Kenny as opposed to with Kenny. There's a lot of high rotation there. Even if we say that we have 2 really good guys outside of that, I don't know how much I trust the full rotation without him. Would it be nice if we could find somebody better? Yeah, at some point it would be cool, but we don't have that elite top tier. And granted, I mean, there's only 5 top 5 guys, right? Out of 32 teams, 5 teams have top 5. At most, 5 teams have top 5 guys. But yeah, maybe someday we can get that guy. I don't know. We don't have him. As for right now, though, we're just better with Kenny. It's not like he's taking snaps from more capable people. And, I mean, to be completely honest, I want to see it. I want to see what happens with this new system. It's a more aggressive system. Again, I think Kenny is primarily a pass rusher. I think that works to his advantage. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, I don't know. But I want to see it. He's a capable guy. He's a smart guy. He's got a lot of talent. It's been unfortunate to kind of see the struggles. Sometimes he gets off to a hot start. Sometimes he gets off to a slow start and then kind of picks it up. It just, we haven't seen just a consistently solid year from him in a while. Not that everything rests on his shoulders. If he's a support guy, he's a support guy. If it's a little bit of Kenny, a little bit of Rashawn, a little bit of Wyatt, a little bit of Preston here and there, that's fine. And that's mostly what it's been. And that's okay. That's similar to our wide receiver situation, right? It's, sweating over the fact that we don't have Devontae when really we got a pretty decent situation, and maybe that's just the way it is. We got a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But I still just want to see it. So we got to see the contract first. This could be as little as a 1-year extension. It could be a full 3-year extension, 4 total years. I doubt it, but got to check that out, and we'll kind of go from there. But either way, I don't see this as anything shocking or massive. And by the way, again, if we look at his last contract, so he signed a 4-year, $70 million contract last time, right? Again, I want to see what the guarantees are. That's going to be more important. But just on its face right now, he signed a 4-year, $70 million contract. That's 17.5. And I talked about this before. I told you this was coming. We're going to see a big number for Kenny, and everybody's going to panic and say that's bullcrap. Most people will look at this and say he went from 17.5 to 21.5-ish. 17.5 to 21.5. He got a big jump. It's not worth it, et cetera, et cetera. But remember, 2020 money and 2024 money are very different. So again, if we just look at the total, if we go to my little calculator that I made up, his contract before, and this is, again, the guarantees are more important, but I'm just taking the total money because that's all I have right now, was 7.73% of the contract on average over the course of 4 years. This is 7.88. It's the same contract. Now, maybe he shouldn't have gotten the same contract. Maybe it should have been a smaller contract. I don't know. Maybe it is a smaller contract. We'll see when we get more details. But as of right now, as far as I can tell, this is almost an identical contract to what he got. It's a true extension. We're just extending what you already had. And for Kenny, it's great because, again, from a cap perspective, percentage is what matters. From Kenny's perspective, real dollars are what matter. And he's getting a massive increase in real dollars. But in terms of his percentage of the cap, it's a continuation of what he already had. So as far as the Packers are concerned, this is no real increase. As far as Kenny's concerned, massive increase. So again, I will reassess this when we get some more details. So if we look at his total guaranteed last time was 4 years, $34 million, which is pretty low. I mean, that's half. So if this ends up being, $32 million guaranteed, we're looking at a very similar contract. And if that is the case, remember, he's getting 24 already. There's almost no guarantees left. So the extension is almost just nothing. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. The other thing that's nice about these, last comment on this, the other thing that is kind of nice about this is it's a clean slate. We'll see how it gets structured and everything else. But, Kenny was one of those guys where it's like he's a big contract. We keep pushing the money out. We keep kicking the can down the road. This is just a hard reset. And we can get a nice, clean, even contract with none of this backloading bull crap. Not to say they won't do it anyways, but I'm just hoping that we're just kind of just a clean reset on everything, get some contracts structured properly, and let's just ride off into the sunset, man. Let's do this right. So again, more on this to come when we get some more details. We'll take a look not only at his contract and how impactful it is, how real it is, how many actual years there are, but also the impact on the salary cap now and in the immediate future. Well, like I said, it's starting to get late, so I think we'll take a break. We'll come back, we'll take some calls, and we'll get out of here. I think we're going to have some bigger news. It is going to be, just a heads up, a little bit complicated for me to get these podcasts. I know I've been saying that a lot lately. The wife got us a little nice little vacation house down the street. I'm going to try to make a commute back every single day to do the podcast, but who knows? Vacation, sometimes you'd rather sit in a hot tub. I'm just let's take a break. We'll come back and do some calls. You ever hear of test driving a phone network? Well, US Cellular is letting you test drive their nationwide 5G for free. Try out US Cellular wherever you have spotty service. Your commute to work, that one spot in your house where your service dips. It's as easy as doing a little beep boop pop boop pop with your phone. That's the buttons. That's the noise they make. Anyways, test drive US Cellular's nationwide 5G coverage for free for 30 days. Just download the Try Us app. US Cellular, built for us. Terms apply. Visit uscellular.com/try us.
Hey, Rye.
Hey.
1265. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Well, good. So I just got done listening to your breakdown of the NFC North.
Sure.
And I just have to say, how fun is it to have two teams in our division that are completely delusional?
I know.
How fun is that? I mean,
got to get Vikings fans to start acting stupid. Maybe if Darnold has a really good week one, maybe we can get him to go a little crazy. You know what I mean? Start pumping up Darnold, that's kind of peak delusion right there. If we're going to start hyping up Sam Darnold.
the freaking Lions?
No.
Really? You guys think you're like an elite of all time team? How is that even a thing? And well, the Bears are just a crap show all the time. So it's so much freaking fun. And of course, our biggest rivals are the Vikings. And that brings up a question. Biggest rival. So how is it that the Vikings are our biggest rival, which I really think they are in regards to being competitive? How do we have so much fun picking on the Bears? I mean, it is our biggest rival. Maybe oldest rivalry is a better way to say it. But I just think we love picking on them so much that it makes the rivalry. That's what actually makes that rivalry right now. And it's so much fun. And here's another thing. Why don't the Bears realize what their forte is? That's one of them. Running backs and defense. Why don't they build their flippin' team with defense and running backs? It's what they know how to do.
I know. I get it.
It's like literally, it's
right.
been almost their entire history. Why don't they figure that out? I mean, okay, you can't get a good quarterback. Yeah, that's Green Bay's thing. Your thing is defense and running backs. Hello? Focus. Actually, no. Don't focus. I prefer it that way. And Detroit's like that little younger brother always trying to keep up to the rest of his older siblings and always try to say, hey, guys, look over here. Hey, guys, look over here. But we're just going to say, get out of here. Go to your room. Go outside. Get away from us. Whatever. I think it's kind of funny. So those are my outtakes, my intakes, my ideas, yeah. Okay, I'm out. Bye.
Yeah, it felt like, it feels like the universe is telling the Bears what to do. They're like, hey, let's load up this offense, man. We got Justin, we got this, we got that. And then their team had a big resurgence at the end of the year because of defense. And then they're like, all right, so what you're saying is we should get a quarterback and a wide receiver and then another wide receiver in free agency. That's what you're saying is we should have a dope offense. And it's like, no, dude. No. I just, some things just come down to fate, and you try to fight fate. And I just don't know that you're going to win that fight. I mean, listen, I wish you all the best, guys. I wish you guys could enjoy the fruits of a great quarterback like the Green Bay Packers have. I wish you guys could have a Megatron or whatever like the Detroit Lions have had, or Amon-Ra St. Brown. I mean, they kind of have a history of getting that kind of stuff done. I wish you could have that. I wish you could enjoy that. But unfortunately, you are a defensive team. And I don't just mean now. I mean, that's the DNA of the Chicago Bears until you uproot and go somewhere else. Maybe if you go to Arlington Heights, you can make a quarterback thing work. I don't really know the rules on that. But, yeah, man, I think at some point you just got to lean into it. It's kind of like I've been saying with the Packers very recently, where it's like, maybe we should just give up on defense and just lean into offense and just do that. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Maybe they'll be good enough with the guys they have, but it's going to be a stretch because they don't have very much.
Hey, Ryan, TJ from Alabama.
What's up?
Just a couple of random thoughts as listened to the pod and listened to people's comments as we wait for real football to get started again. So Sunday ticket stuff. One, definitely more aligned with you of, pretty silly concept of, the NFL is a money-making endeavor. Yes. Welcome to reality, and literally every other business in the entire world is out there to make money. But, it's not a monopoly. I mean, you can watch the UFL or whatever the hell that the initials are for that. You can watch college football. You can watch high school football. One, it's entertainment, so it's not even a necessary or whatever. So, it's not even a monopoly. And the concept of semi-dictating a price, per se, that's not unique as well. If you go online and you try to buy an Apple computer, and whether you buy it from Apple or whether you buy it from Best Buy or Office Depot or wherever, guess what? You're paying the same price.
Right.
Why are you paying the same price? Because Apple dictates what the price is going to be to sell their product, no matter where you sell it from. Amazon. If you sell anything on Amazon, there are definitely contractual parts of that says you cannot sell this product any Amazon has to have the lowest price. You can't sell it any place else for less than Amazon. And if you did, they'll pull it from Amazon. Yeah. So there's this kind of stuff going on all over the place. And sure, do I think it is awesome? No, but it's also not illegal or immoral. It just is. All right. So last thing, completely different subject, and I guess I am probably going to be in the minority here, or maybe in a minority of one. But either way, I'm going to say it. So Abrad is outstanding.
Yep.
Obviously, Abrad to me is like a top 10 draft pick offensive lineman. It's hard to get a bad one.
Yeah.
You can get some that are really good and some that are pretty good, but like getting a bad one is pretty rare. But now a Polish sausage, that one, there's more variety. So it's like a first-round quarterback that, on the upside, a really good Polish is outstanding. outstanding. I would personal opinion, even rate it higher than a brat. But but you can get a bad Polish. So
Sure.
Polish has a higher upside. Brat more consistent. Brat's more like a top 10 offensive lineman. A good Polish is like a first-round quarterback. What do you think? That's it. Thanks. Bye.
So and I'm still not even 100% positive that it was Polish sausage, but we used to go over to my aunt and uncle's, my great aunt and uncle's, and whenever they'd have a party, there'd be a crock pot of these sausages. And my aunt is very Polish. Everything with her is Polish. And I've never had these things really anywhere else, so I assume it's Polish sausage. Bro, that whole crock pot was for me. Like, I didn't touch anything else in that house. Like, I would just hover around that sausage. Holy crap. That stuff is good. I'm actually looking right now. Because it's like, I don't even know exactly what to do here. It was usually cut into little, I don't know, like 1 inch, inch and a half little sections or whatever. I don't know how to do it. But I feel like, and it's cool because when I look at it, like I'm just checking out Walmart, it comes in like the big giant, that would be kind of dope to get some Polish sausage and just slap it on the old grill. I'm going to try it. I'm kind of in this mode where it's like, I feel like there's 5 things that you put on a grill and I'm getting kind of bored. I mean, there's some of them are still delicious, but it's like, well, there's got to be something else. I have not really delved into sausages, and I know that is kind of a big grilling thing. I haven't really done it. You know, it's one of those things you get a plate of barbecue and it's like the sausage is just like, I mean, okay, I'll eat that first and get it out of the way and move on. But, you know, explore. There's a lot of options. I should do it. So I'm looking at this here. Maybe you guys can help me. I'm seeing Polish kielbasa. And I'm seeing smoked Polish sausage. I don't know. What is kielbasa? Is it just like that big shape makes it a kielbasa? Or what are we talking about here? Because I don't even understand. Maybe I should just get a bunch of these. I see smoked Polish sausage. Looks like a freaking hot dog. Then we got Polish kielbasas. Although this says Polish kielbasa and it's like a hot dog. I don't know what that is. Beef Polska kielbasa. That's probably beef smoked sausage. The other problem is like these things are relatively high in calories. I hate to sound like a little punk, but like I want to just go on a sausage kick and just be like, bro, we're eating See, this is why I'm a terrible dad, because you should just like have meals like a normal person, and it's like, well, here's your meat and here's your vegetables and here's it. Bro, I'm like, let's do sausage for weeks. I bought 17 kinds of sausage. You guys better get ready because we're gonna have sausage every night because I gotta learn that's how I am as a dad, and I suck at it. I don't make them eat it. If they're like, no, I think I'm going to eat something, it's like, that's fine. Just I'm doing it though. I'm doing this. This is real. Jalapeno and cheddar, blah blah blah. What else do we have? I'm gonna load up this Walmart cart. Pork and pineapple. I mean, why you got to start with weird stuff, man? Extreme cheddar cheese. Why is it extreme? I guess there's one way to find out. Add that to the cart. Like andouille sauce. Like I don't know anything about andouille sausage. I know it's a thing. I don't know anything about that. Got some New Orleans stuff going on here. Beef smoked, we got to rock that. I know you don't need to hear all this, but I'm just adding so that you guys can kind of jump in if you know what we're doing here. I don't know this work. It's funny because so I'm going to nerd out on you. So if you're not into food or video games, then you hate this last 10 minutes of the podcast. I was just talking to my half Mexican lawyer, Blaine, who also happens to be playing this game. Some of the games are very immersive, and those are the games that both of us really like, where there's just a billion things to do. And it's funny because you can get super involved and spend hours and hours and hours and hours playing, and then you talk to somebody and they're like, bro, have you ever done this? And you're like, no, I just ignore that. And they're like, bro, it's this whole universe of things to do. That's what I feel like, right? Every once in a while you find these things and it's like, sausage. I've never done sausage. I don't know anything about sausage. So we're going to learn about sausage. We got some Polish kielbasa, Chipotle, and Monterey Jack. It's chicken. Probably healthier, I guess. I don't know. Cajun style andouille sausage. All right. Sounds dope. Chorizo fundido. Bro, what is this? Mild Italian. That's automatic, bro. Italian's delicious. Then they got like just smoked sausage. Like what is it though? Beef rope sausage? Heck yeah, dude. That sounds like you even have to cook that stuff. I'll just eat it. That just sounds like I just want to eat. You know what else is funny? And then I'll move on. You don't have to go through this whole process. We get our groceries delivered. The person that's going to be shopping for me is going to just fill a cart full of sausage and bring it to my house. Oh, I tell you, to be alive in 2024. Kingsford makes sausage? What the heck is going on? We got to get brats too. All right, I'm sorry. We'll move on. Actually, final question. Has anybody tried, and I know it would be difficult with the grates and everything, but just where there's a will, there's a way. Has anyone tried like smoking Vienna sausages? I used to hammer some Vienna sausages when I was I used to love me some poor people food back in the day. I'm just wondering.
All right, Brian, TJ from Alabama again.
Hey.
Just going through our last conversation briefly. Hey, any of the Crusaders out there that want to go after the NFL for, unfair practices on Sunday Ticket, I would suggest that you spend, not to go down this rat hole, but I'm going to, and then you can cut it. But, I would suggest that you go, if you're going to go after something, go after the unholy alliance of big government and big pharma, where they can do life-saving drugs and then jack the price up 100 times, or safe and effective vaccines that have proven to be neither safe nor effective. Hell, there's the law out there that says pharmaceuticals can't be sold or can't be sued based on doing harm based on vaccines. Obviously, if you want to be a crusader, do something against problems that are really illegal and immoral, and not stuff that's in the entertainment industry. So, long-winded way, probably just cut this one out and don't even play it because it'll probably start down a rabbit hole. But I just wanted to get it off my chest. That's it. Thanks. Bye.
And my podcast is canceled. It's actually funny. I don't know if this is still a thing, but I know there was a period of time where if I even said COVID, Spotify would catch it. They'd find it in the thing, and there would be like a warning on there or something. Like, go find out about the truth about COVID on these things. Don't listen to this guy. I don't know. So yeah, that sucks. Steve, help me.
Hey, Ryan, Steve up in Alaska.
What's up?
Just listening to the podcast, and you were discussing strength schedule. Hey, that got a nail sticking out of there. I'm going to step on that. But you're discussing the strength of schedule with Packers and who they can beat and blah, blah, blah. You're going over all that stuff. But I got a question for you, because it's something that's always kind of tinkered around the back of my head, and it really kind of came to the forefront here. The use of strength of schedule, isn't it somewhat subjective in the fact that, okay, last year we beat the Bears twice. So the Bears ended up with 2 more losses, which weakens our strength of schedule because the Bears lost those, we helped them lose those games and lower their strength or raise their strength of schedule because we beat them. But it lowers our strength of schedule because we beat them twice. Is that how that works? Because if that's how that works, then every time we beat a bunch of teams, we are actually making our strength of schedule look worse than it could be because we won. Wouldn't it be more accurate to figure out strength of schedule by eliminating the team in question from the competition against those other teams? I don't know if that makes any sense. Because if we walk the NFC North, we sweep it. We beat Minnesota twice, we beat Chicago twice, and Detroit twice. Our strength of schedule doesn't look as good because we beat those teams. And theirs looks better because they lost to us. So I just want to get a little clarification if I'm just looking at this stupidly or if there's something to that, because I've always looked at that strength of schedule thing as kind of being subjective. It's who you play, where you play them. I don't know. It's just a question. But if you got some way of clarifying that or making that seem be more sensible to me, I'd like to hear it. All right, man. Take it easy. Go Pack.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know if that's accounted for or not. I mean, I guess what I would say is if I were to gauge strength of schedule, you'd want to remove that particular team. But then you're kind of going down a rabbit hole too of you really want to gauge everything. Like use the Bears as an example, since you did. If we look at, so for example, if we're looking at, we're not projecting into 2024 because that's a whole other list of problems. If we just look at 2023 and say, okay, the Packers had the 5th easiest schedule, which I think is what it was. Well, it's the 5th easiest based on the fact that we played a lot of teams that were bad, but part of that is that they lost a lot to the Packers. Now, that's not necessarily because they didn't have a dominant record, but whatever, just for the sake of the... You also have to look at, I mean, it becomes like a circular thing because, well, it depends on the Bears' strength of schedule, doesn't it? Because what if they, let's just say hypothetically, the Bears played the Chiefs every single game. Well, do the Bears suck because their record is like 1 win? But then you'd have to base how good those teams are on their schedule. You know, it just goes round and round and round and round. So I guess you have to trust in the fact that there's some balance and that everybody played pretty close to the same schedule. Otherwise, you know, you end up chasing that. Well, the Packers had the 5th easiest schedule. However, we got to deduct what the Packers contributed to their own schedule. And then you also have to factor in those teams' strength of schedules to know how good they are. You know, it becomes a whole frick. So it's one of those things where it's easier to just look at it and go, okay, fair enough, and understand there's a lot of flaws with it. And that it probably could be made better while also having things that are just uncorrectable. Like you can't make it perfect. But like most things, it's just kind of a handy reference. It's just an interesting little tidbit, more so than like a concrete, this is exactly how it is.
Hey, Ryan, side note, if you're just gonna eat your bratwurst just on a bun plain and have none of the accoutrements, none of the old garlic or kraut or onions or any kind of sauces or anything on it, then why even bother putting it on the bun? Just eat the bratwurst, because then you can eat more bratwurst because you don't have to eat the bun. So why bother with the bun and just eat bratwurst? That's just a thought, you know, because the whole purpose of the bun is so you can hold all the other stuff and eat it at the same time as the bratwurst. All right, just thought I'd put that out there. See ya. Bye.
I mean, I don't put anything on my cheeseburgers either, but I still put that on a bun. I think it's good. I think the bun adds something to it. It adds different texture. It also kind of calms it down. If you eat just a bratwurst, it's just a lot of something. You know, it just kind of helps balance it out a little bit. It's like when you get the Cheesecake Factory cheesecake and they give you that cream on the side. The cream's fine. I mean, it's a decent flavor, but for the most part, it just tells the cheesecake to frickin' chill out a little bit because that can just punch you right in the mouth. It's just a lot of flavor. Now, you can go in with a bite or two without the cream. Some people can eat the whole thing. My wife's like, I don't want the cream. You can have. I'm like, yeah, I need yours. They don't give me enough. But you put that on, it just kind of mellows it out, you know? Good texture. Plus, you can hold, like, what am I going to do? Eat a brat with a knife and a fork like an idiot? I'm not going to hold the brat with my bare hands. That's stupid. And, I mean, you don't need it to hold all the other stuff anyways. I mean, I'm using the bun to hold the brat. You're using the bun to hold the brat and all the other crap. You could just put on a plate a brat and sauerkraut and everything else and just eat it and scoop it up or whatever if you wanted to. I don't know. I didn't know there was a rule about the bun was only there to hold sauerkraut. I didn't think that was a thing. But yeah, it's better. It's better than just eating a plain brat. I mean, I could. It's fine, but I'd rather not. By the way, I've also put barbecue sauce on a brat. It's actually quite good. But Kyle, what's going on?
Ryan, what's up, man?
What's up?
It's Kyle from Madison. How are you, buddy?
Good. How are you?
Actually, I'm not in Madison right now. I'm actually in Cologne, Germany.
What?
I don't know if you've gotten a call from Germany before, but maybe hopefully I'll be the first.
You might be.
But yeah, I'm out here a couple weeks visiting family, and I'm trying to get through to you. Having some problems with international calls, but I'm glad hopefully this gets through. But Yeah, out here visiting family. They're actually hosting the European Soccer Championship in Germany, the host country. So it's been really fun to see that kind of sports on display. We really don't have anything that comes close to that as far as nationalism, meeting with our sports fanaticism. There just isn't anything. You know what I mean? Like, kind of made me realize actually the Packer fan's pretty special, because I think that's probably the closest thing. But that's been crazy. I've been loving it. I've been wearing my Packers shareholder hat, which is kind of like a little bit lighter green than the normal, So like you gotta kind of know what you're looking at. And I'm still getting quite a few people come up to me and they're Packer fans. So
nice.
I would say unofficially it's Packers and Niners mostly. But I've been surprised, like a lot of people come up to me when I have anything Packers on. Some of the stores here even will carry a couple jerseys. I've seen Packers, I've seen Niners, and I've seen Patriots, but mostly Packers, Niners. So it's been really cool, and it's been really fun to talk to some people. There's a lot of Packer fans in Germany, though, so I don't know if you're able to look on your data and just kind of see where your listeners are. But I wouldn't be surprised, considering a lot of people here know English and a ton of Packer fans. So when I get back, I got some stories for you about the Autobahn that I think you're going to dig, where everybody drives like Jersey Mike.
Nice.
Anyway, hope things are good. Keep the light on for me when I get home, and we'll see you in a couple days.
Yeah, I've noticed, like, I don't even fully understand how the soccer thing works. I know there's all different kinds of leagues and everything, but man, I've seen some stuff, man. You talk about nationalism. I saw, and I've seen it a couple times. They have these banners. I don't even know how they work, because they like take up the entire side of a stadium basically, and it's like they're partially see-through, and it's great. Like, who built that? Who's like, do you guys all get together and decide on a sign? Does the club actually come up with this stuff? Because some of it's kind of crazy, like major political stances and whatnot. But yeah, man, I just the national pride, which I suppose you'd have to be in a worldwide competition. The U.S. competes with itself a lot. It's like baseball is states versus states, and basketball and football. Those are, all of our major things. The only real international thing that we seem to like is what? Golf. Like NASCAR is local. Like, there's other racing things, there's other but we don't participate in that. Screw you guys. We got our own stuff. So yeah, we'd have to be in something international, which I guess the Olympics is kind of like the one time where we show up and we're like, all right, fine. You want to compete against Americans? Great. What up, yo? And then we kick the crap out of everybody. We get a bunch of gold medals and we're like, see, we're better than you. Screw you. And we go back and we compete against ourselves. It's kind of the way that it goes. Yeah, it's hard to be super nationalistic when you're just in one nation. Like, I don't know, but yeah, I've seen that you got all the flags out and everything. People go wild. It's pretty fun stuff. It would be kind of interesting, and I know you alluded to it a little bit as far as the Packers, but if there was like serious state pride as opposed to team pride, it'd be weird to see people like flying state flags. Like, what the heck is that flag? I've never seen that before. People within their own state, like, what is that? It's like, it's your state flag, bro. Like, oh, I didn't know. There isn't a ton of state pride. I think if you're like in Texas or New York, California, people that live in those places have a lot of state pride. Otherwise, there's like state appreciation. Like, I think people in Wisconsin generally like Wisconsin. It's a nice state. Choose to live here. But it's not like this hardcore, like, don't mess with Texas. California love, California girls, all the California stuff. It's like, all right, dude, I don't know. And granted, all the New York pride is really just talking about New York City. The 97% of the state that isn't New York City, nobody really cares about. But still, New York pride. There's maybe a few others, but I'm fine with team pride, and I feel like we get by pretty well with that. It's not as intense, but it's probably a good thing. As much as it'd be like, man, we need to ramp it up. Then you see other places where there's like brawls and stabbings and stuff, and it's like, all right, we don't need that so much. We get a little bit of that as it is, with the Raiders fans and whatnot. They get a little stabby, but I don't think we need to lean into that anymore. I think we're fine. But anyways, I got to get out of here. You guys have a good night. I will talk to you later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.